Welcome to Pro Billionaire, the place where we bring you the most inspiring and unbelievable stories of people who started with nothing and became millionaires from scratch. These aren't just stories, they're life-changing journeys that will motivate you to keep pushing forward no matter where you start in life. On this channel, you'll hear about individuals who were once broke, struggling, and barely making it, but through sheer determination, hard work, and relentless perseverance, they turned their lives around and built their empires. These stories aren't just about success, they're about growth, lessons, and a mindset that can help you rise from zero to become the millionaire you're destined to be. By tuning in, you'll not only witness these amazing transformations but also learn the key strategies and mindset shifts that you can apply to your own life. You'll find motivation, inspiration, and practical insights that will propel you towards your own success. If you're ready to take that first step toward becoming the best version of yourself, don't forget to subscribe to Pro Billionaire and hit the bell icon so you never miss a life-changing story. He was born in a small forgotten neighborhood where success was something people only saw on TV. Raised by a single mother who worked double shifts as a cleaner and a diner waitress, Malik grew up with hand-me-down clothes and more empty stomach nights than he could count. There was no silver spoon, no backup plan, and certainly no hidden inheritance, just grit, hunger, and a burning desire to escape the invisible chains that held his family down. By the age of 16, Malik had already taken up small jobs to help his mother. Pay was small and hours were long, but what he gained in experience and work ethic was priceless. One day, while sweeping floors in an old bookstore, he came across a torn, dusty book about business. It wasn't new and pages were missing, but the idea struck a nerve. Something inside him shifted. A belief was born that he could build something of his own, that he could be more than just a survivor. He started reading every book he could borrow, trading favors just to get an hour of internet at the local library. His curiosity became an obsession. He taught himself about marketing, product development, and online sales by watching free tutorials late into the night. Despite having no formal education past high school, he soaked up knowledge like a sponge. When Malik turned 19, he took the first bold step. He used the little money he saved up, around $200, and bought cheap phone accessories in bulk from a website overseas. He listed them online using free marketplaces and promised better customer service than anyone else in the game. His room became his warehouse and his mother's kitchen table became his shipping station. Orders were slow at first, but he responded to every message, answered every complaint, and built a small base of loyal customers. One night, while scrolling through forums, he stumbled upon a thread about dropshipping. It was a business model that didn't require holding inventory, something that fit his limited funds perfectly. The next morning, he skipped breakfast and set up his first dropshipping store. He designed it himself, used free trials, and bootstrapped every step with zero marketing budget. He relied on Reddit posts, niche Facebook groups, and offering massive discounts to early buyers. Weeks turned into months. Sales were inconsistent, but Malik refused to quit. He studied customer behavior, learned ad copy strategies, and began testing social media ads using tiny budgets. He failed repeatedly, but each mistake taught him something new. His fifth store, selling eco-friendly lifestyle products, suddenly took off. One viral post from a satisfied customer brought in a rush of orders. He reinvested every dollar back into the business. By his 22nd birthday, Malik had generated his first $100,000 in revenue, not profit, but it was enough to show him he was on the right path. He upgraded his laptop, bought professional courses on advertising and e-commerce, and began networking with other young entrepreneurs online. That community became a source of guidance and inspiration. But just when everything seemed to be rising, tragedy hit. His mother fell ill and hospital bills started piling up. Malik had to pause everything to care for her. He sold off inventory, shut down ads, and drained his savings. The weight of losing momentum was crushing, but his love for his mother never wavered. She had sacrificed her life to keep him going, and now it was his turn to do the same. During long hospital nights, Malik returned to his roots, using every free moment to brainstorm what his next move would be. He knew he needed to build something more sustainable, something that didn't rely solely on trending products. He began designing his own product, a stylish, durable backpack with hidden compartments that suited both students and travelers. It was born from personal frustration and filled a gap he had noticed for years. When his mother began to recover, Malik launched a Kickstarter campaign with nothing but a prototype and a story. The video he recorded in his small room went viral, not because of flashy production but because it was real, honest, and filled with passion. In less than 30 days, he raised over $70,000 in pre-orders. That single campaign marked the beginning of everything changing forever. The success of the Kickstarter campaign was just the beginning, but it was the spark Malik needed to turn his dream into reality. The funds he raised allowed him to bring his backpack into production. He spent every waking hour refining the design, finding the right manufacturer, and making sure the quality was impeccable. He sourced premium materials and made sure every stitch was perfect. He didn't have a team at the time, but he was determined to see this through. Malik was no longer working from his bedroom. He rented a small warehouse where he could house the growing inventory and manage the logistics. He started building a website from scratch again, using the free resources he had at his disposal and still relying heavily on social media to spread the word. His brand wasn't just about selling a backpack, it was about selling a lifestyle, a product that embodied hustle, hard work, and overcoming obstacles. But the path to success wasn't smooth sailing. His first major challenge came when the shipment of backpacks was delayed by weeks due to complications with the manufacturer. The frustration was unbearable. The customers who had pre-ordered were angry and demanding refunds. Some were even threatening legal action. Malik could have given up at this point. Many entrepreneurs would have, but Malik wasn't like most. He reached out to every customer, personally apologized for the delays, and promised them that the backpacks would be worth the wait. He used his social media platforms to update his followers regularly, keeping them in the loop about the setbacks and showing the process of how the backpacks were being made. People were inspired by his transparency, his honesty, and his refusal to back down. He wasn't just a businessman anymore, he was a relatable figure, a symbol of perseverance. Once the backpacks were finally shipped out, orders began flooding in and Malik's brand gained traction. Every day he learned quickly how to optimize his supply chain, how to automate his marketing, and how to build a loyal customer base who believed in his story. Malik hired his first employee, a friend from his old neighborhood who had a knack for graphic design and digital marketing. Together they created compelling content that resonated with their growing audience. By the time Malik turned 25, his backpack brand was generating millions in revenue, but that success wasn't enough for him. He had bigger plans. The next step was scaling beyond the backpack and into a full product line focused on urban travel gear. He wanted to be more than a one-product wonder. He wanted to create a brand that stood for innovation, quality, and a relentless drive to succeed. Malik poured his earnings into new product designs, including durable travel luggage, sleek water bottles, and compact tech organizers. His team grew quickly as well. He brought on experts in product design, logistics, and customer service, and soon his small business turned into a fully operational company. Even as the business grew, Malik never lost sight of his roots. He made it a point to mentor young entrepreneurs and give back to his community through various charity initiatives. He opened a scholarship fund for students from low-income backgrounds who wanted to learn about business and marketing. He also started organizing free business workshops to teach others what he had learned the hard way. But just as his empire was expanding, Malik faced a new obstacle. In order to continue growing, he needed more capital to fund his new product lines and expand his marketing efforts. The thought of taking on investors terrified him. He didn't want to give away equity in his company or lose control of the vision he had worked so hard to create. After months of research and careful planning, Malik decided to pursue venture capital. He was met with skepticism at first. Investors didn't believe a brand built on backpacks could sustain long-term growth. He was told it was just a one-hit wonder, but Malik didn't back down. He delivered his pitch with conviction, backed by real numbers, real customer stories, and a proven track record of success. In the end, it worked. Malik secured a significant investment that would allow him to accelerate his growth and expand his product offerings. The venture capital funding gave him the resources to hire top-tier talent, expand into international markets, and refine his business strategies. Within a year of securing that funding, Malik's company was worth over $10 million. His story had become one of legend not only in the business world but also in his local community, where people viewed him as a beacon of possibility, a boy who grew up with nothing who now ran a multi-million-dollar empire. But for Malik, the journey wasn't about the money. It was about proving to himself and to others that no matter where you start, if you stay focused, work tirelessly, and never quit, success is possible. With his company now valued at over $10 million, Malik was no longer the struggling entrepreneur working from his mother's kitchen table. He had become the face of his brand, a symbol of hard work, resilience, and the endless pursuit of greatness. But success, as he quickly learned, brought a new set of challenges. It wasn't enough to maintain what he had built. He had to keep innovating, pushing boundaries, and staying ahead of the competition. He couldn't afford to rest on his laurels. The pressure to perform at this level was immense. There were moments when Malik would lie awake at night questioning whether he could sustain the momentum. But deep inside, he knew that quitting was never an option. He had come too far, fought too hard, and sacrificed too much to allow his empire to crumble. He began to focus on building a strong leadership team that would help him manage the business and navigate the complexities of growth. Malik understood that he couldn't do it all alone anymore. He hired a seasoned CEO to oversee day-to-day operations and a team of experts in marketing, logistics, and finance. But Malik didn't let go of the reins entirely. He remained deeply involved in the creative aspects of his business, the branding, the product development, and most importantly, staying connected to his customers. every decision still reflected the same passion and purpose he had when he first started out in his bedroom with nothing but a dream. As his brand expanded into new markets, Malik found himself traveling the globe. He met with suppliers in Asia, designers in Europe, and marketers in North America. The scale of his operations grew exponentially, and with it came new opportunities. However, he faced the challenge of managing a rapidly expanding team. Delegating responsibilities was difficult for someone who had built the company from the ground up, but he realized that trusting others was essential to scaling his success. Slowly, he learned to let go and empower his employees to make decisions that would drive the business forward. Malik's relentless drive to stay ahead of the curve led him to experiment with new technologies and business strategies. He invested heavily in AI-driven analytics to predict consumer behavior and optimize product offerings. He embraced sustainable production methods and partnered with eco-conscious manufacturers to ensure that his brand wasn't just profitable, but also socially responsible. Malik's commitment to innovation paid off, as his brand became synonymous with not only quality and style but also with environmental consciousness. This shift attracted a new wave of customers who aligned with his values. But success doesn't always come without setbacks. As Malik's company reached new heights, he began to face fierce competition from larger, more established brands. They copied his product designs, flooded the market with similar offerings, and tried to overshadow his brand. It was frustrating, but it also served as a reminder of just how far Malik had come. He realized that the only way to stay ahead of the pack was to keep evolving, to never stop reinventing himself and his company. Rather than allowing the competition to rattle him, Malik took it as a challenge. He doubled down on his commitment to quality and customer satisfaction. His brand's unique story, its origins in hardship and determination, became a powerful differentiator in the market. He launched campaigns that highlighted the personal journey behind the brand, showing customers the true meaning of hustle and perseverance. This authenticity resonated with people on a deeper level, making the brand not just a product, but a movement. By the time Malik was in his late 20s, his company was not only a multi-million-dollar empire but also a beacon of success for countless young entrepreneurs. He had become a mentor, speaking at business conferences and sharing his journey with anyone who would listen. His story was proof that anyone, no matter where they started, could rise above their circumstances and achieve extraordinary things. Despite his wealth and success, Malik remained humble. He never forgot where he came from, the struggles, the sacrifices, and the people who had helped him along the way. He used his platform to give back, funding education for underprivileged children, supporting local businesses, and advocating for social change. He knew that his success wasn't just his own, it was a collective effort, a reflection of the support he had received throughout his journey. As Malik stood on the stage of a major business summit, his company now worth over $10 million, he couldn't help but think back to the days when he was just a kid with a dream. He had defied the odds, proven the doubters wrong, and created a legacy that would inspire generations to come. But for Malik, the journey wasn't over. It was only just beginning. He was ready to take on even greater challenges and push the boundaries of what he could achieve. His story was no longer just about going from $0 to $10 million, it was about continuing to evolve, to inspire, and to make a lasting impact. The road ahead would undoubtedly be filled with obstacles, but Malik knew one thing for certain: as long as he kept the fire alive within him, there was no limit to what he could achieve.